Israel. When I was 23, I was a student of architecture. Exactly 40 years ago, the Kippur War started, and like other people of my generation, I was drafted, and I was put in a rescue team in helicopters. We used to go and collect people who were burning in tanks. And I think that when I came back, I felt that architecture is a bit formal as exercise, and I want to do something else, so I started to make films.
I'll just get to the movie. The film is shot in one sequence, no cuts. Was there a reason for this?
I mean, I think that cinema is really a dialogue between narrative or form and narrative and content, let's say. It can be political, can be ideas, can be dialogue, and form. I think we have too many films who are only form. They don't say anything, they're just form. And we have some films which are only content. They speak even for good causes, but they don't invent in the form. I think that actually the cinema I like as a spectator is a dialogue of form and content. So if I want to say that I think that the relations between Palestinians and Israelis should not be cut, that it's part of the human reality of this part of the world, and if I translate this sentence to cinema, it means that I will not cut. So I'm installing a sequence shot. At the same time, I think we have to also to understand the rhythm, because I think that this area has been intoxicated by the two parties, or by more than two parties, using the media, instrumentalizing the media as an arm, as a war. There is a war of media, of images, and I think the only thing an independent filmmaker can do is refuse it. Is to say, I'm going to install for you a continuity, 81 minutes. I'm not going to cut. You will understand something about the rhythm. Since you are from an Iranian origin, you know that the rhythm of this part of the world is different than West Europe. And so I'm going to install a rhythm which is a rhythm that you may understand something about these regions, about the contradictions, about the fact that nobody is angelic, the division of that we like to do. Some people say that only the Israeli are angelic and the other are bastards, or the others say the other way around, is wrong. I think both are both angels and bastards. And I'm going to install this series of contradictions in a continuous shot. So there will not be a cut, there will be a continuity. And then the spectator will have to interpret it.
Did the actors have the opportunity to improvise, or was everything
It's a bit complicated to improvise, because it's technically complicated, so you have to install the complete choreography of the shot and the timing of the moving, relative movement of the camera to the movement of the actors, and when they should say what and so on. But I've done in different films, Kadosh, Kippur, Kedma, different films, Free Zone, a lot of sequence shot. This is the longest I've done. The thing about this kind of shooting, sometimes I say it's like cooking, because if you cook too much, it's not good. If you don't cook enough, it's not good. So you have to find the right moment, that it's actually that the actors still have a kind of a freshness, kind of a truth, a kind of verite. At the same time, it's not dry, it's not completely mechanical, and so on. So I think that in the period of preparation, I invite everybody to speak to me, the actors, the technicians, the drivers, everybody should speak to me. But I like to also to make decisions, to make choices. But once we construct it, then we have to make this shot.
You've done mostly political films, at least from what I gather, and I wonder, do you do this to educate people, or is this something you do for yourself?
I mean, I think that the Middle East is suffering, so the artists should speak. because if we wait for the politicians, we will wait forever. They've been pretty lazy. A friend of my mother used to say, and she was a very courageous lady, she used to say that there is a lot of heroism, but not enough courage. So I think there is a lacking courage of people to go across the lines and to stretch their hand and to try to resolve it. So what can we do? Cinema is not a way to change the reality. You know, the machine guns are more direct, the politicians. Anyway, I don't want the politicians to be unemployed. You know, they've been doing a pretty bad job, so they should do they should improve. We can also start making people think, and it's a good beginning.
You introduced the movie saying that you had problems with your movies in your own country of Israel. Could you explain how and why?
I'm touching sensitive issues, so it's normal that not everybody will be in agreement with me. I'm not impressed by it, you know, because I don't understand actually some people of my, you know, I work with Juliette Binoche, Natalie Portman, all these celebrated people, and sometimes I don't understand why people in this trade, in the showbiz, want to be loved by everybody. I don't love everybody, so why should I be loved by everybody? I disagree with some people, seriously disagree, and they have a right to disagree with me. I respect the right. So I think that we have to keep. Searching for ways of coexistence in a serious way, not in a blah blah manner. And I still think that maybe it doesn't please some people. That's their problem.
Is it easier to shoot in Israel today?
I think that, you know, when I started in the early 80s, the situation is a bit strange, you know. When I did my first films like House, it was not broadcasted. I was treated pretty badly. I think now you have much more liberty to speak, but the politics is much more conservative. So I don't know what is the better version.
In this movie, things happen after the mother has passed away. Was there a reason for why you told the story in this way and not have her speak as well?
I thought it's better.
Why?
No, I mean, you should ask the public. I don't want to spell everything out.
I'd like to invite you in now to ask questions. I may ask some more later, but does anybody have any question now?
Yes. Thank you for the movie. I enjoyed it very much. And the path and the continuous filming, it was a very good way to tell the story. I was wondering, have you shown the film in other countries, and what was the reaction in that case?
I mean, it was premiered at the official competition of Venice, and the reaction was good. Then it was in New York, São Paulo, and tomorrow, very early hour, I'm going to India. So we'll see. You know, I think that people were interested in it.
In the end, the camera went up to the sky and the music felt a bit grand. I got feelings of heaven. Was there any kind of symbolicism you wanted to convey?
I mean, I'm not religious, but maybe if he exists up there, maybe he can help resolving it. We'll see.
How did you cast the film? Did you audition?
I don't like to do auditions anymore because I think that this cliche of the almighty directors with the sunglasses and the assistants and the poor comedian, you know, actors coming, I think it doesn't give a precise enough indication. It's intimidating. I think in cinema you can have somebody who is shy, who is timid, who will be a great actor. So this kind of menacing situation, I don't like it. So I like to have maybe a coffee with an actress or an actor, I would observe them, and if I like them, I would tell them they have the role, basically. But it's not very complicated.
Yael, the journalist, is her drive mainly professional, or does she want to say anything else?
I mean, she's like us, you know, she's a stranger. And she's coming from different places, she's dressed differently. I think that, you know, in the 60s, the filmmakers like to say that they're part of the community. I think it's fake. You know, we will live different lives. We will not live part of these people. Will not share even if we have sympathy to them, will not share their level of living. So I wanted her to be a stranger, like we all are.
I thought the lighting of the movie was very good. Was it all just natural light, or did you...
I mean, it was him.
No, but did you have external lights, or...?
Very little. You know, it's very... when you do a sequence shot, you cannot really add a lot of stuff. And we even had a photographer like you know, running around, but he was chased away brutally by the camera crew and the sound, because they were afraid that he would get into a frame, and that's it. You know. So we did several takes, and yeah.
And the movie was the 11th take?
No, it was the 9th, but not even all the 9 were complete takes. You know, this is a kind of a high-risk project, because at the end of the exercise, or you end up with a film, or you end up with a 0. I'm happy to be able to come to Stockholm with a film. That was not true.
There was an interesting question one of the characters asked her. He said, let's say all the Arabs left, what would happen? What do you think would happen if that happened in reality?
I would not like to answer.
Okay. What's your next project?
I'm looking forward to make a film in Sweden.
Really?
Yes.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Will it be shown in Israel?
Yes.
When? Which festival?
In Haifa, and then it was released in cinemas.
How did it do at the cinema?
I mean, it's an art film, so you know, it's shown by a very good distributor, United. It was shown in, I think, 15 cinemas, which is quite a lot.
Were you satisfied with the reactions?
I'm satisfied when I make people think. You know, I'm not. I mean, I did some films in my life, so if I encourage people to put questions. I think it's questions, by the way, are not only political; they're also aesthetical. They're also about how the way the filmmaking can happen. How can we resist the over-commercialized matraquage of pushing of cinema into? So I think that if young filmmakers can feel free enough to do different things with cinema, I think that's what I'm interested in.
I think our time is up.
Do you have more questions? Apparently everything is clear. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.